Just an update on the 21st of May on our new pear orchard. People who've been following this channel for a while will remember that this orchard was planted 3 years ago with 4 varieties of pear. You see with the thinning now because they've set quite a heavy crop. You don't want to thin too early because there are a lot of pests which will destroy your early fruits, and our worst pest is a horrible thing called the pear midge, which I've mentioned before. Here's an example of a pear that's been destroyed by the pear midge, although I've been around and cut off most of the destroyed fruits earlier. But now we've got a pretty good idea how many fruitlets are ongoing, and here is a very heavy crop. This is probably slightly too many. Here, 4 years ago, there used to be, well, up until 4 years ago, there used to be a small orchard of Sunset apples, which we planted too many of because we believed too much of what we've read in the books, and we couldn't sell them all before they went past it. And Bramleys, which are a great apple, but which we couldn't sell them very readily. And we found out by accident, or by experiment if you like, that this patch of soil here is extremely fertile. Now this sand that we're on is a sandy sort of grade 2, grade 3 agricultural land. It's not really great agricultural land, it's what we could get. Okay, so we made our best of it. It's done okay, but parts of this are very light, very poor, very thin, so soil doesn't retain moisture at all well, and trees have not done well whatever we've done to them. But here, this particular bit of soil proved to be very good soil, and it supported these Bramleys. They grew so big, and we just couldn't control the size of them, and they were a problem. We made a decision. We grew a few pears, our espaliers. I'll mention a little update on another video about the espaliers. We grew a few espalier pears just for ourselves. One year, I remember this quite distinctly, the Beurre Hardy pear yielded a very heavy crop. And pears don't keep a long time. They reach a point of perfect ripeness and then they go soggy and horrible, and you can't eat them beyond that stage. So we had about 15 pounds of pears that we couldn't eat before they went past it. So we thought we might as well take them to market. And they flew off the shelves. People were really enthusiastic. And they kept saying, oh, we've got any pears, got any more pears? So we thought, hey, well, it's hard to do. It's a very hard thing to bring yourself to cut down a mature, healthy tree, and there were about 40 trees here, Bramleys and Sunset, but we decided that that was, to bite the bullet, that was the way to go. So we cut them down, we hauled them out. I think I put a few videos up, and we had some friends around to help us from Wickham Morris. We paid a little bit of money to the charity that the Morris Stance side was supporting that year, and we planted some pears. And I'm very glad to say that a couple of children were involved in planting these pears out. I gave the adults the difficult, heavy jobs, and I gave the children and their mother the chance of planting the pears, which I think is a great thing. But anyhow, so we planted these pears 3 years ago. Last year there was a tiny little crop on them. This year, as you can see, we've got quite a reasonable crop. I'm cutting these out, slightly too many. Now somebody's going to mention, hey, you've got this one supported by a stake, what about the others? Well, it's another business to do with this orchard where we have too many things to do. I just had an irate email yesterday from somebody in an organisation I'm involved with asking me about a job I should have done 2 weeks ago and I hadn't done. And I sent back a reasonably polite reply saying, look, I've got too much to do. Help me out here, etc., etc. But we bought stakes, and we're going these as pyramids. We're growing these as pyramids, and this is the way that modern fruit culture tends to be. Smaller trees, dominant centre leaders. You can show centre leader up here, Julia. Dominant centre leader. Yeah, by the way, you can see this has been chewed by various pests. Every one of our food plants is attacked by various pests, and we have to do our best to control them. It's a running battle, which sometimes we lose. But anyhow, so these are intentioned to be grown as some pyramids supported by stakes. We didn't manage to get all of the stakes hammered in last winter, and now we haven't had any rain to speak of since about February, and the ground is baked hard, so we can't ram the stakes in. So some of these are growing without stakes. We will, when we have a period of sustained rain, we will bang the stakes in. That's the way that modern apple and pear culture is going. Anyway, these are our pears so far, and this year it looks as if we are going to have a reasonable crop. Probably the sort of crop that you've got on this tree here is going to pay this year for the complete cost of planting these trees out, because you mustn't count them before they're fully ready. But looking at the, sorry, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 kilos of fruit here. I mean, not necessarily that many, but it's possibly 8 kilos of fruit here. You know, we'll offer them for sale with £3 a kilo, so all being well we should make probably something like £20 from these pears. It's probably at 20 quid's worth of pears if we can bring them to market. There's a lot of ifs there. There's the wasps, there's apple, there's pear scab, there's the birds, there's all kinds of stuff between us and actually getting these pears to market. But it's looking good. The moral of the story is, if you've got an unproductive section of your orchard that's producing something that you can't sell or you don't like, unless you've actually got one foot in the grave, it may be worth pulling it out and replanting. Big effort, but this is just 3 years post planting, and we're looking at a good crop. By the way, finally our pear varieties here are Beurre Hardy, which I think is this one, Conference, Doyenne Comice, and a pear called Concorde, which is a cross between Comice, Doyenne Comice, said to be the highest flavoured pear but difficult to grow, and Conference, which is not the best flavoured pear. It's not bad, it's not the best, but it's quite easy to grow. So they've crossed Conference with Comice, and apparently the pear that they bred, Concorde, has got the best of both worlds. I'll let you know more when I taste some for the first time, which I hope to do this October.